You want 2025 to be your best year ever. I know I do, and I know you do too because you clicked on today's video. Today, I'm gonna be sharing 10 ways for you to make 2025 your best year yet. And in this video, I am going to be so upfront and honest about a lot of things that I need to improve on. So this video is not just for you guys, to be honest. It's also for me to hold myself accountable. And when you put things out into the universe, that is how you manifest your goals. So kick back, relax, take your bra off, get comfortable. You're gonna wanna watch this video. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? My name is Jazz. Thank you so much for being here. As I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about 10 ways for you to make 2025 your best year yet. And like I said, I am going to be telling on myself a lot. I am going to be sharing a lot of personal stuff, and I feel like it's going to help you out a lot to the point where you're going to be like, okay, this girl knows what she's talking about. I learned a lot in 2024, and I feel like now I know exactly what it is that I want. I'm one of those people that now as an adult, I feel like I'm like discovering myself. I'm learning what it's like to really be and truly be like my authentic self. And this is something that I want to bring to my channel. So if you are interested in self-discovery, self-development, this is the channel for you. I used to do beauty content once upon a time, and I may do that here and there if I want to, okay? That is something that I have learned so much. You know what? Scratch that. I should make that number one. Do things if you want to. Don't feel like you need to put yourself in a box. This video is going off course already, and I like that. This is something that I want to embrace a little bit more, that sometimes things don't go according to plan. Do not put yourself in a box. Don't do it. I have done that so much, and I have wanted this platform, and this is not just with YouTube, this is just in life. I put myself in this box where I wanted to be showcased and featured as a particular person that I had in mind. I felt like this person that in my mind I kind of created, she didn't exist. She was this fake, perfect person that I didn't even know who she was, because hello, I'm faking the funk on social media. And I put myself in this box where you get so caught up in the content online, where you have these aesthetically pleasing homes and you have these aesthetically pleasing YouTubers or content creators that are thin and do stuff to their face, and you know, no shade, but you know, like they all start to look the same. They start to talk the same. You don't have any authenticity. Everybody is a robot. There's like a rare few people out there who are okay being their authentic self, and I feel like that is kind of sad. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to give what I feel like it's perfect. And I'm so glad that this video started off the way that it did, because I'm showing you guys that I'm living this truth and I'm being real with y'all and letting you guys know, like, yo, this is not just a video of me saying like, oh, these are 10 things to do, like I'm just like this guru, but I'm also taking my own advice and putting things to work. So I did write a couple of things down too, but I wrote like bullet points that I wanted to highlight. So that was number one. And the second one is going to be celebrating my small wins. I have issues with celebrating my small wins. I always feel like everything needs to be grand. Are you like that? Let me know down in the comments. Let me give you an example of exactly what I'm talking about. So the other day I started to work out again. I had spine surgery 3 years ago, and I'm still like trying to get my body into the groove of things. I had to learn how to walk again, all that stuff like that. That's not the issue, surprisingly. I have to pace myself because clearly I cannot jump back on the treadmill 30 minutes or an hour like how I used to back in the day when I was on my workout routine like this. I have to pace myself. So I was like, you know what? Okay, let's do either 5 minutes, and if I can push myself, then I'll go for 10 minutes. And I ended up doing 10 minutes, which was great for me. Back in the day, I would have judged myself and been like, okay, you should have went harder, you could have done more. And I would have had that inner saboteur really destroy my moment where I could have been celebrating. I could have celebrated the fact that, hey, I didn't have to work out, but I did something, and that something was enough. And when I said that out loud, I was like, yo, more of this. I need to do more of this, because when you celebrate your small wins, you can give yourself a pat on the back simply just for waking up, because life is hard sometimes. Life is a struggle sometimes. And sometimes just waking up and getting out of bed is enough. I want you to be okay with that. Celebrate your small wins. I don't care how small it is. Celebrate you to the fullest. And that was a pep talk to myself as well, because Lord knows that is something that I need to do so much more. Oh my God, this one, stop comparing yourself to other people. Who has imposter syndrome? Yeah, I had imposter syndrome for a very long time, and to a degree, you know what, not had, I have imposter syndrome, okay? This is my honest video. I have imposter syndrome. I compare myself a lot to creators that I have seen online. I compare my body to other people, especially creators that came out during the time that I came out doing my beauty content. And I get upset because I sit there and compare myself, because I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong that I'm not growing, but they're growing? What am I doing wrong that they lost weight and I didn't lose weight? And when you do that comparison thing, like, it destroys you. So the best thing for me to do was, one, to call myself out, okay? Call myself out and admit that there is an issue there, and figure out what it is that I need to do. Do I need to stop following these people so that way I'm not comparing myself all the time? Or can I use that and shift the focus and use that person as inspiration? Now, some people can do that. Some people are just like, you know what? I need to unfollow or block or do whatever it is that you need to do, what's necessary for you in order for you to move forward. But with me, I chose to switch the narrative, and I was like, you know what? Instead of me sitting there comparing myself, wow, this person is so inspiring. This is going to motivate me even more to reach my goals because I'm using them as inspiration. And I feel like once you switch that narrative, instead of comparing yourself, it triggers something in your brain that tells you, like, okay, you got this, you can use this as inspiration. It's going to help you to push yourself harder instead of you sitting there and focusing really more so on the negative. So changing that negative into something positive that's going to be way more beneficial for you, and you're not going to be driving yourself crazy. And this ties into my next tip, which is fight for yourself. Advocate for yourself anytime that you can. Speak up for yourself. Say the things that come to your mind, respectfully, of course. We don't want to be disrespecting people out there or anything like that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be a bully. But advocate for yourself. If you feel like there's something that's worth fighting for, do it. And I'm specifically talking about the things that you want. If you want to achieve goals for 2025, you have to fight for them. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally working hard instead of just sitting there watching everybody move. You can make moves yourself. When we're on social media and we're just scrolling, we see everybody like doing their routines and they're working out and they're living life. They're having lunch with their friends and they're going on trips, and you're just sitting there and you're just scrolling and you're like, and you have like that icky feeling, is because you know that you need to be doing something. So instead of you scrolling with that little thumb, and I'm like this, instead of you scrolling online, you can use that energy to fight for the things that you want and encourage and motivate yourself to do something productive. I notice that the less time that I spend on social media, I have so much more time to be productive, to actually create content, to write in my journal, to do the things that I know that's going to benefit me. That is the goal, right? We need to make ourselves better for the year. We need to make ourselves better for 2025. So spend less time on social media. I think that's kind of like 2 points together, but I don't even care. Stay off of social media as much as possible. Fight for what you want so that way you can be more productive and you can achieve your goals. Next tip for you to have the best year ever is for you to make alone time, whether that's meditating or for reading a book or for you to go and get a manicure or get your hair done, whatever it is. I don't care. Make time for yourself, especially for people who have very, very active lives. If you're a mom, if you are a wife, if you're working, whatever your situation is, even if you just live by yourself, make time for yourself, because just because you live alone, that don't mean that you're actually prioritizing yourself. You know what I mean? So when I say this, is to use this time for you to pamper yourself. Use this time for you to give yourself affirmations. Use this time for you to jot down your goals, whether you're journaling or whatever it is. I like to use my personal time to meditate. I like to write in my affirmation book, and everything that has been jotted down in this book has basically come true so far. So I have this one, and I have another one where I jot down all of my manifestations. And so this is what I like to do in my alone time. I like to use my singing bowls, or I'll listen to a sound frequency and I'll read a couple of pages in a book, giving myself that time to just relax and to center myself. Sometimes I'll go on my back deck and I'll just listen to the birds and just let the wind blow in my hair for a little bit. And it feels so good to have that moment to connect with yourself and to slow down a little bit, especially when life can be so chaotic. Give yourself some me time whenever you can, even if it's you taking a longer shower than usual. Do it. Next tip is giving yourself grace, being gentle with yourself, and making sure that the words that you speak to yourself are positive. I had issues with this. I was one of those people that spoke negatively about myself to the point where I said those harsh words to myself all the time because I was feeling insecure. I was feeling less confident. I was feeling just not myself. And I would say these words to the point where I started to believe them. And when you hear negativity, whether it be from other people, yourself, your surroundings, your workplace, when you start to hear that negativity all the time, it damages your body, it damages your soul, your brain, your mindset, everything is affected. So if you give yourself a little bit more grace when it comes to that and speak more kind of words, you'll start to see a huge difference in your whole demeanor. And I can attest to that. Like I said, I used to speak very, very badly about like my body, my appearance, and I used to get down on myself about not being all glammed up when I come on social media or if I'm creating content. I felt like I had to be so structured and have things a certain way because I felt like people wasn't gonna watch me unless I had like a full face of makeup and lashes all the way up to here. I actually felt that because that's what I saw. And I said that to myself so much to the point where I actually believed it. And look, now I'm just chilling over here with a little sweatshirt. I don't even have a bra on, to be honest, okay? At least I did my hair. Okay, I did my hair and I was like, you know what? I have stuff to share. I want to get on camera. This is something that I feel passionate about, and I need to start speaking that and being more graceful when it comes to the words that I say to myself, because I deserve kindness. I deserve to be treated respectfully and cared for. I deserve to be loved, and I need to do that. So if I want that and I expect that from other people, hello, you need to be doing that to yourself. So give yourself grace. Stop trying to be so hard on yourself. And I think that goes into my next point. And this is, remind yourself that you don't have to be moving and fast paced all the time. Now, what do I mean by this? You do not have to be doing all of the things that a lot of these content creators are saying when it comes to like your glow up journey. This is me telling on myself, okay? When I used to watch these glow up videos, I felt like I was less than because I couldn't get that beauty product that that influencer had. I couldn't go out and maintain my face and get a facial whenever I wanted to. I couldn't buy that expensive gym membership. I couldn't get that $800 vacuum for my house. You know, at one point I even judged myself for having brown cabinets. And I'm just like, when you say it out loud, it's like, do you hear yourself, bro? Like, this sounds ridiculous. And you get so caught up thinking that you are less than because you cannot catch up to the people that you're seeing online. And half the time, to be honest, the people that you're watching online are just showing you a 10-minute glimpse of what they go through in their life, and you have no idea whether that creator is crying when they get offline. You have no idea. So we're over here idolizing a lot of these people and thinking that everything has to be fast-paced and getting down on ourselves for wanting to rest, getting down on ourselves because we don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes that is hard. We're looking at these crazy morning routines where they're getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes that is not realistic mentally for a lot of us. And I was so down on myself for that. I felt like just because I was resting a little bit more than usual, or even if I took a nap, I will be down on myself because I'm like, hey, I could have been more productive. Instead of me napping, I could have done XYZ. And sometimes you need that nap. Sometimes you need to sleep. Sometimes you need that time for yourself to just be lazy. And lazy doesn't necessarily mean like you're not doing anything, because you taking time for yourself and you resting is doing something. Do you know how long it took for me to actually realize that? It is so hard sometimes for you to fully come to terms with that, because like I said, you just feel like you need to have like everything fast paced all the time. You need to be moving at all times in order for you to achieve goals. But sometimes when you have that rest, you have the most energy for you to do the things that you want to do, and things still work out for you. So I feel like if things are really meant for you, regardless whether you're sleeping, whether you're going hard body for it, if it's meant for you, it's going to happen because it was just written out for you in that way. So what's meant for you is going to be for you, whether if you're going fast paced, whether if you're resting. Give yourself grace. Again, I'm going to say that again, give yourself grace. This is my reminder. Give yourself grace, and don't feel like life has to be like beep, 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 beep all the time. Sometimes things could be slow, and sometimes slow is good. You know what I mean. The next tip for you to make 2025 your best year yet is to try something new. I am starting a new project, and I will share that in a later video, but I am starting new projects. I'm doing a project with my husband. I'm also doing a new project for myself, and I'm creating a whole lot more. And I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I'm so proud of myself because I'm like, wow, I am doing something new. I am putting myself out there. I'm working with other creators. I am working with brand owners, and I feel so good about that. I feel so good trying something new. And who knows, if you try something new, you may fall in love with it. You may not. That's just life. And if it's something that you don't particularly like and you find out like, hey, this is not for me, that's okay. At least you can say that you tried something new, whether it's painting, you taking a new class, a new hobby, you going to a new place, you trying new foods. Try something new. Do something out of your comfort zone. Do it. You want to start doing UGC content, whatever it is, just go ahead and do it. This goes into my next point, which is letting go of fear. Oh my God. I don't know why, but I'm from the Bronx too, so I'm like, why am I scared all the time? I feel like I got soft over the years, and I'm like so scared to try new things. I'm scared to put myself out there. I'm scared, and I was afraid to really be my authentic self. And what a shame that is. Like, that kind of hurts me low-key to actually admit that, but I'm keeping it real with myself, and I'm also keeping it real with my audience and letting you guys know that sometimes it's scary to be your authentic self, because you have that thing in your head where you're like, oh my God, if I put myself out there, what are other people going to think about me? Is this going to be perceived well? You know, are people going to like me and all of that stuff? And it's like, do you even like yourself? That is the most important question. Do you like yourself? Do you like yourself? And I feel like once you let go of that fear and you're able to be vulnerable, you're able to be in the moment, I feel like things happen so much better. Again, I will go back to the beginning of this video. Like, I didn't even plan for me to say that. And normally I would go back and edit and do so much work on my videos and try to take out all of this stuff and try to make it look perfect and fix lighting and all of this stuff. For what? Do things scared. Do things afraid. Do things where you feel like, oh, there's like a little hesitation. Sometimes, like when you're playing double dutch, you remember, I'm telling my age right now, you know, when you like, ooh, and you see that rope going and you like, oh, is it gonna hit my face? Oh, you know, it's gonna hit my back, because that rope be hurting. Back in the day, we used to use them cable cords. And you would be just so scared to get into that rope. But when you got in and you started jumping, you was doing your thing. You was like, oh, look at me. look at me, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And that is the feeling that I am talking about. Letting go of that fear and just jumping in. Just jumping in and doing your thing. It feels so good. I'm so glad that I turned on the camera today. I'm so glad that I wasn't afraid to come on here with no makeup on. I am so glad that I wasn't afraid to just give jazz. I gotta hug myself right now. Like, I'm legit, I'm so proud of myself. All right, let me get to the last point. And my last point is eliminate mental and physical clutter. Clean out that closet. Do a deep clean in your bathroom. Remove all of those toxic thoughts. Remove toxic people from your life. Remove toxic pages that you follow. Anything that is going to block and hinder your growth, remove it. Declutter mentally and physically. I'm going to stress this because this is going to be one of the best things that you do for the new year, because if you have a lot of clutter, mental and physical clutter, you are blocking your blessings. You're not going to have enough room for the positive that's going to come for 2025. So if you want to bring in abundance, whether it's people, love, affirmations, money, whatever it is, anything that's going to spark joy, anything that it is that you want, you need to declutter. How are you going to have a beautiful garden, okay, if you don't water it? It sounds corny, but like, if you're not watering your flowers and all that stuff, how do you expect them to bloom? How do you expect them to be beautiful? How do you expect them to be nurtured and to grow? You can't have that if you just have a dark cloud over your entire life. Negative thoughts can consume you so much, and I know that it is challenging for a lot of people. It is challenging for you to just even be kind to yourself. And I want to give you guys a hug and let you guys know that you are not alone. And in all seriousness, you deserve to be here. You deserve love, you deserve peace, and you deserve 2025 to be your best year yet. I'm going to be doing a huge deep dive into this closet, because this closet is like one of the last things that's like really chaotic. And I feel like once I do that, I'm going to feel so much better. Last time I did that, I believe it was last year, where I decluttered my clothes and I donated and I tossed out things that I had for years, and I felt lighter. I felt the energy shift, and it's so crazy and it sounds so dramatic, but it literally is that. You feel a huge energy shift once you declutter things from your home. And even when you remove toxic people, if you have people that are coming to you and they're venting and all they're doing is just talking about negative stuff and they're gossiping and things that you consume on television, if you're watching people fighting on television, if you're watching people arguing and doing crazy things online, you're messing up your mind. That stays with you. I didn't realize that. I'm like, oh, you know, this is entertainment. But keep in mind, the things that you find amusing says a lot about yourself. And I'm calling myself out again, because that used to amuse me. And the reason why it amused me so much is because I wasn't there. I wasn't doing much with myself. I was feeling insecure for so flipping long. I was feeling stuck for so long, and I was in that energy bubble and everything was just crumbling, and I didn't want it anymore. So when I started to do that and started to remove the things that I did not want to see anymore, once I started to see positivity online and I started to see people achieving their goals and meditating and doing that stuff, that triggered something in me. That made me happy. That made me want to bring more joy in my life. Me decluttering my closet, or me decluttering my home and getting rid of my clothes, that made room for new things, for new opportunities, for all of the things that I want to bring into my life and to really cleanse my whole aura physically and mentally. That stuff feels good. So that is it, my loves. Those are all of the things that I feel like is going to make 2025 your best year yet. And this was the most vulnerable and upfront video that I have done in a very, very long time. And high five to myself. Let me know in the comments, what are your plans for the new year and which point that I mentioned resonated with you the most. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.